Hi, everyone. Sorry for the technical delay to start, but we're going to have a good show. We got 14 MLB games on the card today. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm so fresh like the morning. Mouth wide open like they yawning. Every time they see me, they in G-Strike. Homie, this is too far. Homie, I feel too alive. You can see me like Illuminati. You can see me like Illuminati. But I'm trying to...
Hey, everyone. What's up? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. All right, we're a little bit late today because we had some technical issues, but it's going to be a good show. We got 14 games on the card today. It's a weird time of MLB, of course, because the trade deadline's coming up, so teams are making moves. There's last minute pitching changes. I believe Peralta was in for the Yankees, and now he's out. Now it's listed, so there's unexpected bullpen days for teams, and then the market adjusts, and then we look at it, and it's all going to be fun. It's going to be fun because that's what this is all about. That, in theory, and I'm not talking about sports betting, I'm talking about life in general. In theory, that's what this is all about. I know it's easy to forget and hard to live by and hard to internalize and hard to stick to, but it's true. Shy Archie, shout out. Shy Archie in the comment section. Old G hilarious sports betting character, Shy Archie. Probably produced the single funniest non-JJ Gold video in the sports betting world that I have ever seen. Ever. Shy Archie put up a hidden camera that his girlfriend didn't know about and told her that he invited some sports bettors over to have dinner at their house. And she was not happy about that. And it was incredibly funny. An awesome video. Shout out Shy Archie. I hope you still have that video. Post it all the time. It's friggin' hilarious. She's like, they're non-people and they're evil. And he's like, are they more evil than Satan? And she's like, no. First Satan, and then sports betting friends of yours. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. We got shout out Spoons Bets. I'm not gonna. I have too much shit going on, so I'm not making Bet Bash this year. Spoons Bets. That sucks. But I don't know. Every time I don't go to Bet Bash, I wish that I had when it's going on. Hopefully that won't happen this year, but it probably will. Man, oh gosh. It is fun. It just crept up on me, and I got other shit to do, like soccer. Soccer was good today, man. Fucking Irish Division I league. We love that one. All right. Enough. Well, it's always okay to burn a few seconds, burn a few minutes for camaraderie and jokes and positive vibes, which is what we just did. Now we're going to keep brisk pace, 14 games, 50 minutes. Let's do this shit. Shout out to everyone. Justin McKelvey, Shy Archie, Swiggy Bets, Spoons Bets. Great to see you, man. I guess I wish I was going to Bet Bash this year. Have a good time there, Spoons Bets. All right. And he likes, okay, we are going to talk about this. Okay, Nicholas Handy. All right, let's start now. All right. Sorry. Okay. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati is the first game we're going to talk about. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Yeah, Spoons Bets says he took first 3 under 2.5. Okay. I have that down here as one of the bets that could possibly have some value. Skeens against Hunter Green. And both these guys, of course, when they're in top form, are lights out. But, they'll have the 4-run starts, quite a few times and make you think, why did I think they were automatic for a lights out start? Because they're not. Skeens got hit in his last start, ton of strikeouts, but gave up runs. If you bet a strikeouts prop over and stayed off everything else, good for you. But if you bet on, opposing team first 5 team total under, his earned runs prop, whatever, if you bet on Pittsburgh first 5 minus half, well, maybe they did win that game, but not a good start for Skeens as far as runs are concerned. He still got strikeouts. Hunter Green, kind of the same way, all over the place, right? He got his last home start was lights out, a 12 strikeout 1 hitter against the Cubs. But, aside from that start, he's been getting touch, although even within his starts, he's all over the place. His last start was actually not that bad. It was actually great, first 5 innings. And then it all unraveled in the 6th. So, Hunter Green, high ceiling, low floor. Skeens kind of the same way, high ceiling and disappointing, more often than you'd like, more often than not. This is a tough one. Running the numbers, I would give us a bullpen edge to the Reds, and as a home dog, Cincinnati on the overnight line had value at like plus 110, plus 115 or so, despite the fact that Skeens, of course, can be great. Of course, lights out. But again, small bullpen edge to Cincinnati here. Pittsburgh in general, not that great right now. Cincinnati in general, pretty decent. I know those are not, very technical. That's not any technical analysis that I did just there. Pittsburgh in general, kind of crappy a little bit. Cincinnati in general, kind of pretty good. That's how we break shit down here, at least with me at Pub Sports Radio. So Cincinnati had some value as a home dog. Definitely. Spoon pumped for Vet Bash. Yeah, I'm pumped for it. I would be pumped for it too. Shout out Wine Time. I want the Reds. Sweetie Bet says I like Skeens off a bad start for this. Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. It's just that as a home dog, when I ran the numbers, Cincinnati should have had some value. And Cincinnati did have some value. The line hasn't really moved, right? Cincinnati still same range of a home dog. Total hasn't moved that much either. Well, a teeny bit to the over, actually. It's still 8 juice to the under, but a little bit less so. And so when I ran the number, two things that had value: first 3 under, and the Reds as a home dog. And actually, Skeens under 7.5 strikeouts at plus money also had some value. And let me decide what I want to make official at the current lines. Let's see where his So the Skeens strikeouts prop is still up a little bit. I know it's scary to take strikeout props with a guy like Skeens, but when you're unders, when you're getting a dog line on it, and it's a relatively high total, it can have some value with it when you run the numbers. That's scary is why it continues to have that kind of value. So again, Skeens, Sweetie Bets is right. He'll probably be better here. Not necessarily with a ton of Ks, but that is what he does well. Hunter Green should be okay. Hopefully they will, not leave him in too long like they did last start, although he didn't get strikeouts in the last start. But again, it was just, that start was fine. And 3 starts ago was friggin' ridiculous. 12 strikeouts, 1 hit against the Cubs. An awesome lineup. So, adding it all up, this is a lot of borderline stuff. And a small lean to Skeens under 17.5 outs, also because it's at plus money. Because it's at plus money. Both of those should have some value here. Maybe I'll find the cojones to make all. Yeah, Chris Warren likes Reds. Dabby Cab, what up, homies? Shout out Dabby Cab. Yeah, Chris Warren likes Reds money. All right, I can't spend too much time on this stupid game. Let me just decide what to make officially. All right, we'll make Skeens under 17.5 outs at plus 131, current line Pinnacle, an official play. Again, it's just because of the dog line that gives it such value. But, Skeens can have awesome starts where he gets a ton of strikeouts, runs up high pitch counts, and they just, they got to pull him, because his pitch counts just run up too high. They can't do to him what they do with Dylan Cease. So, so Skeens under 17.5 outs, make that official, plus 131. And full game. All right, we'll go with it. Cincinnati Reds, full game money line, plus 112, official play. Obviously, very scary to do that, but we'll take it. And again, the Skeens strikeouts prop under 7.5 has some value as well, according to my numbers. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on that, though. Yeah, we'll just take the Skeens outs prop, Cincinnati, and that's it. All right, let's move on. Next game on the card, Philly and Baltimore. Philly and Baltimore. Looks like this line is off at some places. It was supposed to be Painter was the listed guy for Philly. There was no pitcher that was announced, and then I saw it was Painter. Of course, it was having a lot of issues in the majors. Yeah, okay, it still's there. Okay. Sorry, so just seeing a Pinnacle was off for a second. So it's Painter against Brandon Young. Painter, of course, had been getting crushed in the majors. He did have some, a few decent starts in the majors, including 3 in a row in May. But a lot of starts he was absolutely getting shelled. Went down to the minors, and it was kind of similar, except he had a bunch of good starts. He had 1 start in the minors where he got absolutely crushed, and the other 4 were good. Strikeouts, gave up, a few runs. And again, he did have decent starts in the majors. So Painter is a big, big question mark here. I don't have any stats that shine light on this. Maybe there's some 2026 AI style analysis that can tell you exactly what to expect from Painter, but I don't have anything. Obviously, he is likely to be either okay, 5 innings, 2 runs, or the old 3 innings, 7 runs special that Painter will give you. If Brandon Young on the other side for Baltimore, decent. Usually, sometimes gives up a bunch of runs. Usually, pretty solid, pretty reliable. Last 2 starts were particularly good. And Philly just got swept at Miami. They were close games, but still, So Philly's been losing, but close ones, not getting blown out. Both bullpens good here. Small edge to Baltimore. Baltimore top 5 right now for this one. Philly more like top 10. So 2 strong bullpens, but small edge to Baltimore. And adding it up, it's just what do you think you're going to get from Painter? Let's see. I was actually thinking that half art, half science, a Painter might be okay here. Baltimore, of course, a very good team. They came a big comeback win in their last game, huge comeback win. They were down big and they came all the way back. And Painter, again, his minor league starts, 4 or 5 were good. In the majors, he did have a bunch of starts that were okay. So I was thinking Philly might be the sneaky good play here. Looks like it's moved a little bit in Baltimore's favor from the morning line, though. It was like 110 or so in the morning. Now it's minus 115 or 120. So move in Baltimore's favor, which I understand. Doesn't necessarily put me off of thinking the Painter might be okay here. Let's see. What do we got? Chris Warren putting a lot of stuff in here. Okay. Let's see. Red money line. Yeah. All right. So the Philly game, non-technical reasons, I'm leaning Painter to maybe be okay. Maybe okay here. And Brandon Young statistically is should be a little bit vulnerable here. Bullpen edge to Baltimore though, so adding it all up, I just wish I was getting a bigger dog line with Philly to take a shot on it, to take a shot with it. So yeah. Painter's earned runs prop actually was lower than Young earlier. That's because his outs prop is very low, which also running the numbers, Painter over 14.5 outs at plus money had some value because even when he's getting hit in the majors, they were still leaving him in there unless he's on an intentional pitch limit here, which is definitely possible. Although I didn't come across it. I did look for it. Maybe I'll give Painter over 14.5 outs at plus money, hoping that he's not on a big an intentional pitch limit where they'll pull him even if he's having a good game. Yeah, Painter. Yeah, now it's down to 13.5. He's probably on a pitch limit where he's going to be pulled even if he has without pitch limit factoring in. Painter over 14.5 outs of plus money, and now down to 13.5 outs would have some money. But we remember from Mizorowski's start that when outs props move like that, a lot of times it's because of inside information, not because of the market was off running numbers. All right, I'm going to pass on this one, but it's very interesting. Would love to take a shot with Philly. Would love to take, as a tiny dog, would love to take a shot with Painter over 14.5 outs at big dog line, but I won't make either of those official. All right, next game on the card. I have to keep brisker pace here. St. Louis and Toronto. Leahy against Dylan Cease. Man, this is another tough one because Dylan Cease, when he's good, he's literally no-hit style. 2 of his last 3 starts have been one-hitters with double-digit strikeouts. And then, of course, when he's not having a great start, he has, 5-inning starts where he gives up 2 or 3, 7 strikeouts, and they're fine. So which Cease are you going to get here? Are you going to get, 2 or 3 runs, 5 1/3 innings, 7 strikeouts? Or are you going to get fucking 8 innings, 1 hit, 12 strikeouts? My numbers say take St. Louis here. It's scary to do. St. Louis just not winning. Also, 2-6 on their recent homestand. Now they head out on the road, so maybe that's good for them. Toronto coming back from a road trip. Also, Toronto, if Toronto didn't have such a huge pen edge, I'd like St. Louis more. Statistically, a big bullpen edge here for Toronto. They're like top 10. St. Louis, bottom 10, maybe bottom 5, depending on the day and how you measure it. And just Cease, it might even be, think about taking St. Louis first 5, isolating a fade of Cease. just because it's such a huge dog line. Not sure what I want to do here. Let's see what the market has done. Yeah, so now Toronto's up like 10 more cents, so it's gone in Toronto's favor a bit, just a bit. But overnight line was like in the 170s. Now it's in the 180s for Toronto. Total gotten bet down. Overnight line was 8 juice to the under. Now it's 7.5 juice to the under. So almost a full half run move to the under, which I was thinking under, obviously, on this one. All right, let's see. In recent shows, Chris Warren says Painter was really bad. Yes. Yeah. Digging into it, he had some signs that were not super bad, and his minor league appearances were not too bad. So it's interesting. But yeah. All right. So this one, in recent shows, there have been some ugly dogs I just couldn't force myself to pull the trigger on, and those cashed more often than not. In this one, the market has not moved in that direction. I would love to take a shot with St. Louis here, even though they're bad. Leahy, of course, has also, not a big strikeouts, no-hitter guy like Cease, but getting results. Last 6 starts, 31 innings, only 4 runs, and even did get 29 strikeouts in those. So can he keep that up? I don't know. All right. Maybe I'll take a shot with it and take St. Louis here. Maybe I'll go for some volatility and take a -1. All right, I'll take that. I understand how tricky this is because Dylan Cease can be so friggin' awesome, but we'll take it. We'll take St. Louis Cardinals. That's an official play. We'll take -1. Current line Pinnacle, money line plus 166, run line plus 255. So add that up, comes to about 225 or so. We'll go for it. St. Louis Cardinals, full game, -1 plus 225. That's an official pick. If Leahy comes in if Cease comes in and throws a no-hitter, great. We'll eat the unit of loss. But it's definitely an interesting game there. All right, next game on the card, Arizona and Cleveland. Let's talk about this one. Arizona, Cleveland. Mitch Bratt against Bybee. Arizona, of course, definitely been playing well for a while now, going back before the All-Star break. They just won 2 of 3 at Pitt. That seemed like it was going to happen. They were in the first half bad for an extended period of time, and you could, just like with the Atlanta Braves, you could at some point they were going to turn it around. They've definitely turned it around. Cleveland just won 2 of 3 at Cincinnati, and that's a rivalry series. Now they're back home. They had lost 5 in a row before that, and this is kind of actually similar to the St. Louis game. I would love to take Arizona here, except a huge bullpen edge statistically to Cleveland, which makes me nervous. And then, of course, Bybee against Bratt, pitching, edge to Bybee as well. Bratt has been overall terrible so far in the majors this year. Although Cleveland has actually terrible numbers against lefties in recent months. Maybe we ignore that here. Bybee, pretty decent, pretty solid. So it's interesting. We'll look at where the market has moved. If Arizona jumps out to a small lead after the starters are out, I would be looking to bet Cleveland live, possibly. Yeah. So let's see where the market has moved, and then we'll move on. Probably nothing here. Yeah, not much of a move. Cleveland's still in the -130s as a favorite. Not much on the total either. 8.5 juice to the over. If you gave me a free play, I'd put it on the over. Bratt has been terrible so far this year, so the fact that might mean you throw out Cleveland's overall bad numbers against lefties for the last few months. Bybee, pretty decent, but definitely not great. Again, get touched. Arizona should be able to touch him. And my number said over and first 5 over as well. Let's see what anyone in the comment section has to say about this one. Chris Warren says game is priced perfectly. I think he was talking about the Toronto game. Yeah, so the Arizona-Cleveland first 5 over. It was, a little bit tempting there. Definitely value, at least statistically. So that's why it's tempting. And Bybee, of course, can be great, but can be touched, of course. Yeah. All right, we'll pull the trigger on it. The numbers like it, so I'll take it. Arizona, Cleveland, first 5 over 4.5 -122. Current line Pinnacle. We'll take it. If Bybee's lights out, hopefully Brad will give up all 5. More likely, one of them gives up 2, one of them gives up 3, and it sneaks over. All right. Small edge according to my numbers, but high confidence. And I talk about that a lot. The confidence number is more important than the actual edge number. So, because the edge number is often wrong. All right, but that's it. Interesting game there. All right, now let's move on. Next one, White Sox and Tampa Bay. White Sox and Tampa Bay. All right, so White Sox, Tampa Bay. Fedde against Nick Martinez. White Sox, both these teams pretty impressive. I don't really like to bet against either of them. White Sox split a series with the Yankees. They won their last two. Now they go on the road. And Tampa Bay, just an impressive team. 5 of 6 on their current homestand. They won 2 of them by 1 run, but that's nice. I would give a pretty big bullpen edge here to Tampa Bay as well. Pretty big bullpen edge here. Numbers said maybe under at 8.5, minus 115 or minus 120 on the overnight line. Fedde's been not too bad. He doesn't go deep and rarely is lights out, but he also never gets crushed, which tends to be very good for totals like these under. Someone who's like reliably 4 or 5 innings, 2 or 3 runs, and then on the other side, a team with a good bullpen, a good starter. That's usually very good for a kind of high total like this, high-ish total. So the under had some value. Nick Martinez, of course, lights out to start the year. Then he came back down to earth. Last 2 starts, suddenly lights out again. Just very impressive. Change-up guy. He could easily have one of his 3-run starts here, but still, overall, just a very impressive guy. And let's see where the market is. Market moved, and then, so the total is right where it was. Overnight line, 8.5. A bit juice to the under, and a pretty big move in favor of the White Sox, though. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was White Sox or nothing, despite the fact that big bullpen edge to Tampa Bay, because just too high of a line when Tampa Bay was like minus 145. Now they're down to like minus 130 or so, so like a 15-cent move in favor of the White Sox, which I would definitely agree with. Definitely agree with. I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger on an under here, although the numbers. Someone talked about the Brandon Young strikeouts prop. Yeah, suspiciously low. It was 4.5, juiced a bit to the over, but if you look at his game log, he's been going over that regularly. So very, very suspiciously low. I did look at that. It's interesting. I didn't take it, but it's definitely interesting. No doubt about that. Absolutely interesting. I agree. All right, pass on this one. If you gave me a free play, the current line, I don't know if I'd take White Sox. If you gave me a free play, I'd put it on the under on the total. And if you gave me a free play on the side, I don't know if I would take it now. Tampa Bay, very good. They were just too big of a favorite. All right, let's move on. Next game on the card, Miami and the Mets. Again, this was supposed to be Peralta, but then I think he was traded. Didn't see what it is. But then Pintaro, who hasn't been very good so far this year, he'll only go a few, and then it's going to be a bullpen game, I guess, for the Mets. Let's see what road. Oh no, now it's Kodai Senga for the Mets. Oh, okay, wow. Because I saw it was Pintaro. It's Senga. All right. So I don't. Let's just take a glance. I was not able to do a deep dive on this. It was supposed to be there it is, Kodai Senga. All right. So now Mets are like a teeny favorite. Total's like 8.5. Juice to the over. Mets won game 1 yesterday, of course. Pretty big pen edge here to the Mets as well. And Jansen Junk starting for Miami. He very up and down, very high volatility. He's off of a good one. Kodai Senga. Wow. Look at that. That's very interesting. Man, all right. I'm going to look at this game with Senga in there and run some numbers after the show. But right now, I think I'm going to have to pass on it, but it's definitely interesting. Maybe a shot with the over on this one at 8.5. At 8.5, that's definitely tempting as hell. Kodai Senga. Yeah, he has not been good this year. Very vulnerable. Wondering what to expect here. He has definitely been iffy. Definitely been iffy. All right, we got to keep a brisker pace, but I'm thinking about the over, thinking about first 5 over for sure, because a little respect to the Mets bullpen here. Respect to the Mets bullpen here. Yeah, and the first 5 is way higher than half of the full game. The full game is just 8.5, not even juice to the over. First 5 is 4.5. Minus 123 at Pinnacle, 5 plus 106. All right, I'm going to hold off on this one. Just going to hold off on this one. A lot of interesting stuff there. All right, let's move on. Next game on the card is Washington Atlanta. Foster Griffin against Elder. And Foster Griffin, he could. Let's see. The trade talk surrounding him as well. Not exactly sure. Foster Griffin against Elder, still listed. Atlanta, small favorite. Atlanta won yesterday, of course. Washington, of course, bullpen, as always, a liability. So nice little bullpen edge to Atlanta here again. Washington first five, as always is the case with Foster Griffin starting. Kind of a no-brainer-ish thing to think about, thing to be looking into. Let's see where we are on this one, what numbers we can get here. Let's see. Yeah. So it's moved a little bit in Washington's favor, just a little bit. Total. Bet a little bit to the over. It was 9 juiced to the under earlier. Now it's 9 slightly juiced to the over, which I would definitely agree with. Numbers said take a shot with Washington first 5 team total over, although Elder can be good, of course. Elder very vulnerable. His last 2 starts were better, but he's still giving up home runs, and he should be iffy here, should be vulnerable here a little bit. Yeah, so a little bit of a move towards Washington. No doubt about that. Washington team total over and first 5 team total over have some value according to my numbers. And of course, as always with Foster Griffin, Washington first 5 with Griffin going. Just a very impressive guy. Definitely an extremely impressive guy. All right, and we won't overthink it. No reason to overthink it. We'll make that official. Washington Nationals, first 5 money line, -116, current line Pinnacle. That's an official play. Nats, first 5 money line, -116. Current line Pinnacle. That's an official play. And maybe we'll double up on the team total as well. And we'll take the full game just in case they leave Elder in too long. And, Atlanta has an okay bullpen here. Nice bullpen, a little bit above average. But we'll also take the Nats full game team total over. We'll make it 4. Pinnacle right now, 4.5 plus 106, 3.5 minus 164. So we'll combine that. Nats. Full game, team total over 4. Should be about minus 130, minus 128 or so. Second official play on the Nats. First 5. All right. Maybe we'll just leave it there. Not overthink it. Just auto bet Foster Griffin first 5 money lines. And then if you want to, live bet the other team when the Washington pen comes in. Griffin could get touched, but then Elder could get more touched. Elder could be good. Griffin could then be even more good. So we're taking it. All right, that's it. Next game on the card, Texas and Houston. Texas and Houston. Eovaldi against Hunter Brown. This one I passed on because there's so much uncertainty with Eovaldi and Brown. Both of these guys had been iffy, had been struggling, and then their very last start was excellent. Eovaldi routinely giving up 3 or 4. His last start, he dealt. And Hunter Brown, came back from the injured list, had been struggling, especially with control. Last start, awesome. Is he back now? I don't know. He's had some serious control issues recently, and I don't know if we say now he's back just because his last start was was so great. So both these starting pitchers, big question marks heading into their last starts. Their last starts were awesome. What to make from here? Not sure. Definitely by the numbers, little value with Texas as an underdog. We'll see if they still are an underdog here. Small bullpen edge to Houston statistically, but nothing bigger than that. And just definitely, Houston, an impressive team, of course. Returning from their road trip, they won 5 of 6. They're playing really well and winning. They have a nice lineup, nice mojo, nice bullpen. Their mojo, no stats for that, but I still said it anyway. Let's see where this line has moved. Yeah, it hasn't moved much. Almost nothing. Houston still favorite in the minus 125 range or so. Total has moved down a full half run, which is interesting. More than a full half run almost. First line was like 8 juice to the over, slightly. Now it's 7.5 slightly juice to the under. So pretty big market move to the under. So market both bullpens decent. And And both starters could repeat roughly what they did earlier. So, free play, I'd put it on Texas as a dog, but I think I'm going to pass on this one completely. I haven't seen Austin Powers in a while. Yeah, that is a term. We know what that's a legitimate, non-quantifiable, but nevertheless very real sports betting handicapping factor. Yes, mojo. I'm sure if you go to Bet Bash and ask Spanky if he factors in mojo with his overall handicapping, he'll probably say no, and probably you know put you in the dumb section of the Bet Bash crew. But yeah, no, I use it and I think about it. Let's see. Chris Warren likes Nats full game money line. Okay, getting a better number there. All right. The over should be a good play. And Marlins have a number of bench home run bats. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. I just got to think about it. All right, Zoe Faye. Shout out Zoe Faye. All right, okay. I think we're keeping an okay pace. So just a pass for me. If you gave me a free play, yeah, I'd put it on Texas. All right, next game on the card: KC and Colorado. KC and Colorado. KC is both these teams are going to be probably sellers. The trade deadline, Waka against Sugano. KC playing decently overall, though. Winning since the break. Colorado back from their trip. They can get you a win 30% of the time, but overall, they mostly suck. Two bullpens that are just not good, according to my numbers. I'm not sure how you can look at these bullpens and come up with that either one of them doesn't suck here. Some injuries to both teams, right? Bobby Witt is out. Kyle Karros out for Colorado. Very, very high total here, of course. Waka and Sugano, Waka's his last two starts actually good. He can be vulnerable. He can be good. Sugano, not great, but sometimes not terrible. Actually a bit better at home. So this is another one where, was leading KC statistically, but I'm going to pass on it. Let's see where the market has moved here. Just too many unknowns. Just low confidence in every bunch of numbers that I ran. Yeah, so it's roughly even on both sides. Very, very high total, 11.5. Now it's down to about 11. Yeah, so so KC an extremely tiny favorite, which free play, no doubt about it. I'd put it on KC. I would absolutely at minus 110 or so, minus 107 total. I don't even know. What would I do? It looks like it's gotten bet down a bit, just a teeny bit. About a 10 or 15 cent move to the under. It was 11.5, only a little bit juiced to the under earlier, and now it's 11 on both sides. So, lean to KC, but I'm going to have to pass on this one. First three over, tempting, although very, very high. 3.5, of course. First five over, tempting, but it's 6. So can't pull the trigger on that, although statistically a teeny bit of value with those. Jermaine likes Moniak home run, Lane Thomas home run. Thomas Maggio likes the Rockies. Zoe Faye, shout out Zoe Faye. All right. I'm not going to pull the trigger on KC, although running my numbers, that's definitely KC should have some value here. A little bit, just a teeny bit, but I'm going to hold off. Too many unknowns. There is value according to my numbers, but the confidence number is very low. And again, confidence number much more important than the actual edge number. So that's it. No play for me. That's a pass. Next game on the card, Milwaukee and the Angels. Milwaukee, man, great team. Coming off a big 16-3 loss at the Giants in their last game, and the Angels overall not good, of course. Just got swept against Houston. So Milwaukee is the way to go. One would think, but they're such a big road favorite here that it feels uncomfortable and feels trappy. Drohan against Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson, very, very high volatility, got crushed in his last start. Drohan, not very low volatility. So that's nice. So if I was going to bet a side here, no doubt about it, I'd take a dog line. At least I'd take -1 or -1.5, depending on how much they were charging. Maybe even more. My number's also leaning over, despite the fact that that Drohan can be good and the Angels can have a lineup that's not so good, not very good. Definitely leaning overs in general, according to my numbers. Run in the first, yes. First 5, over. Full game, over. And let's see where the numbers have moved in this one. Yeah, not that much. Still about where it was earlier. Milwaukee 160, 165 favorite. And the total, a teeny move to the over. My numbers liked over, even though, Drohan can be good. Swaggy bets. Oldie. Shout out, Oldie. Gotti Gambler. Shout out, Gotti Gambler. Gotti Gambler. Man. Hell yeah. Gotti. If I had been living in the 80s and 90s and they asked me about John Gotti and they said, what about all the murders? I would have said, what murders? He's a great guy. He does a lot for the neighborhood. Come on. The murders they say he did. What murders? Shout out, Gotti Gambler. All right. I'm procrastinating here because this is such a, gosh, Milwaukee is so much better, but the line is so much higher. It's such a high favorite line. Jesus. Shout out his airness. Oh, man. Jesse Dykstra says, Brewers team total over for me. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's going to be high because they're a big favorite. Well, not that high, though. 4.5 -137 at Pinnacle right now. Yeah, you're right. And the Angels, don't have a terrible bullpen, but definitely average at best. And Johnson, high volatility. So I'd almost rather take like Milwaukee, like over 5.5 at plus money or something like that. Yeah, because high volatility with Johnson, man. Oh gosh. All right. I got to make a decision and then we'll move on. Yeah, absolutely. But just Johnson, high volatility he cannot get crushed. And he did get crushed in his last start. But, Milwaukee, it's a big bounce back spot for them too. All right, I'll make a decision about what I want to pull the trigger on here. Yeah. All right. I think maybe I'll just stick with just overs, which is what my numbers originally did like. What they originally liked. All right, we'll take that. We'll take that. Run in the first inning, yes. -113, current line Pinnacle. That's an official pick. Run in the first, yes. -113, current line Pinnacle. And then, both full game and first 5 over. A little bit of value according to what I'm seeing here. I don't know if I want to take both of them, though. Yeah, maybe just the Brewers. Milwaukee Brewers. Over 4.5. They should be able to get to, they should. Yeah. Yep. All right, we'll take that. I wasn't gonna do it, but the numbers support it, and I'll pull the trigger on it. Milwaukee Brewers team total full game, team total over 4.5 -137, current line Pinnacle. And then first 5 in full game also have a little bit of value. They do. All right, we'll take that also.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
What murdered? Who just played that? Hell yeah. That, yup, yes. There you go. If I If I had been in Bensonhurst in the 80s or 90s, that would have been me to a T. No doubt about it. Don't you think murder is wrong? Of course I think murder is wrong. So what do you think about the Gotti murders? What murders? He does a lot for the neighborhood. Love it. we're getting off topic here. All right, whatever. Let's do it in honor of those guys for making us laugh. We'll take first 5 over 4.5 minus 129. Current line Pinnacle. Official play. Go down to 4.5. First 5 over 4.5 minus 129. Current line Pinnacle. I didn't know anyone would get that reference. I thought people would just think I was like being a weird idiot. I can't believe everyone knew what that was. I guess it is famous. Hell yeah. That's great. That's awesome. All right. What a great show this has been. Let's move on. How come you take all those big favorites? What big favorites? I don't do that. All right, let's see. Next game on the card. That's something. Anytime anyone accuses me of anything now, that's going to be my automatic response. All right. Okay. Detroit and the A's is the next game on the card. This is another tough one because Mize was supposed to be the starter. God, now I've got this running through my head for everything I'm saying it. All right, I got to focus and calm down here. Mize was supposed to be the starter for Detroit, but something happened. I don't know if he was traded or what happened, but now he's not. Now it's what is it? Ty Madden. And now it's Tyler Holton. What is there, an opener? Oh my God. All right. See, this is what happens close to trade deadline. And then so now it's Holton. I saw Ty Madden before. And I guess Holton, is he going to be an opener or how? All right. Okay. So this is I don't know what I'm gonna have to look into it and see what's expected from Holton. And I saw Ty Madden after Mize was out. Now Holton is the guy. One thing we do know, though, Springs is going to be starting for the A's, and he has been crappy all year long, right? Detroit, nice little team off a very high-scoring series against the Orioles. A's, overall, of course, just bad. They lost 3 or 4 against the Red Sox. They'll get you a win 25% of the time. But overall, just pretty bad. 2 pretty crappy pens. And this is one similar to the Milwaukee team total that I just gave. Detroit team total over was one thing I was thinking about. The difference is this is not a 9, this is an 11. So let's see where these lines are now. Yeah, Detroit now is like minus 140, 145 or so total. 11 juice to the under. It's still there. And the Detroit team total over would be 5.5 minus 123. Yeah, I don't really want Springs is so bad. Maybe I'll just take the first 5 team total over. Maybe I'll just Hazerna saying, well, Mize got I don't know if he got traded, but I know he's not starting tonight. That's all we need to know. I don't know if he, the old pulled his groin muscle or something. That always happens. A pulled groin, and now he's on the injured list. I don't know, but he's not starting. Jermaine likes Spencer Torkelson home run. Cannot any Detroit offensive bet or prop. I cannot disagree with here. Springs is just so friggin' bad. Just crappy all year long. How can we not bet into this? We got to do something. With this. I just wish all right, let me just, all right, we'll keep a brisk pace here. Definitely want to check. All right, so it's Holton. How deep is he going to go? I saw Madden as like an opener, and now it's Holton, who is, so he's only probably going to go like an inning, right? He just pitched on the 27th. Maybe they'll give him 2. And then who's it going to be? Madden? Who's it going to be? I don't know, man. Detroit, first 5. It's looking pretty okay here, right? Holton is all right, right? Holton, he's okay. I mean, you got Kurtz, Wilson, Soderstrom. That's a nice little lineup there, I guess. But, yeah, maybe Detroit first 3. All right, let me think what I want to do here. Maybe Detroit first 3. Holton's all right. All right, that's what we'll do. Okay. All right, I didn't run any numbers on this, but we'll take it just right now for now. Detroit Tigers, first 3, money line, minus 135, official pick. Detroit Tigers, first 3, money line, minus 135, official pick. And I guess we can't not do it. Detroit Tigers, first 5, team total over, 2.5, minus 149. I guess we'll make that an official pick. It's betting into an obvious thing, which is Springs being absolute dog shit and then continuing to be absolute dog shit in this one. Right? I mean, he's coming off a start where he gave up 5 runs in 1 1/3. I mean, it's just so bad. And he faced Detroit at Detroit earlier in July. 4 1/3 innings, 4 strikeouts, 6 runs, 2 home runs. Yeah, he's just so bad. All right, we'll take it. We're going to take it. Detroit, first 3, money line, minus 135. Detroit, first 5, team total over, 2.5, minus 149. It's a big line. Probably the, Detroit first 5 money line as well, but I don't want to triple up there, although I probably should. That's it. All right, an interesting game, and that's that. All right, okay. Next game on the card, we got 3 to go. We will do this. The Giants and San Diego. This is another interesting one. Whisenhunt starting for the Giants and San Diego. They got Herman Marquez as a primary, and then Bradley Rodriguez. I might change my name to Bradley. It's like Bradley, but with a G between the D and the L. This guy is dope. He's an opener, though. So he's only going to go like an inning or so. Herman Marquez coming in for San Diego after that as the primary. He's a little hard to get a read on right now. Overall, his peripherals are not looking good. Whisenhunt also hasn't been good so far this year in 3 appearances. The Giants, have some new faces in their lineup. They've got some life to them. They put up a huge number 2 games ago. Then they won game 1 yesterday. They've definitely been starting to pick it up. Padres had been rolling before yesterday's loss. Their bullpen's in good shape for this one. A huge statistical bullpen edge, according to my numbers, for San Diego. So that makes me nervous about taking the Giants as a dog. Maybe the first 5 over. First 5 over has some value. Whisenhunt vulnerable. Marquez vulnerable. Bradley Rodriguez, awesome, but he'll only be in there for like an inning or so, very likely. Let's see. Shout out Swiggy. Yeah. All right, let me see what I want to do here. First 5 over has some value. And again, Giants have some value full game, but very much reduced because of a big bullpen edge to San Diego here. And Marquez is a question mark. His peripherals do not look good, but he's not Springs level of almost a guarantee to get crushed. He could be all right here, statistically. He could be all right here. So first 5 over. Yeah, despite the fact that it's at Petco, has some value. 5 at dog line or 4.5, minus 130 or so. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. This is a tough one, but I'll go for it. I'll take it. First 5 over 4.5, despite the fact that it's at Petco in San Diego, minus 126 current line Pinnacle. I'll take it. First 5 over 4.5, minus 126. Both starters come in here with some issues, question marks, and we'll go for it. Let's see what happened with the full game line. Yeah, San Diego's still like in the minus 140s. Total is it's gotten bet up a little. Oh no, gotten bet down a little. It was 8.5 juice to the over earlier. Now it's 8.5, a lot less juice to the over. So like a 10-cent move down. Interesting stuff here. That's just it. Giants and Pods, first 5 over, 4.5. Make it official. And we got 2 games left on the card. What a fun show this has been. Red Sox against the Dodgers. This is a fun game. I don't know if I can bet it. Red Sox against the Dodgers. Ranger Suarez went out a few weeks on the injured list. Came back great in his last appearance. 4 shutout innings. He doesn't go that deep, but and he has high volatility. I did take a shot with the Suarez over strikeouts, despite the fact that his outs prop is so low and he's likely to not go deep. And the Dodgers, of course, have a very nice lineup. Suarez is getting his strikeouts, and running the numbers, despite the fact the Dodgers have a great lineup and don't strike out that much against lefties, had some value. The only non-quantifiable fact, or a factor that is quantifiable, but I didn't run it, was just someone like Suarez coming off of a stint on the injured list, and then with such a great short but shutout start first time back. Sophomore slump is something that can factor in all areas of life. So he might come in here and have a significantly worse start after coming back and being so great in his first start back off of the injured list, and of course on the road going up against an impressive lineup. So that's the one thing that makes me feel nervous. Big bullpen edge to Boston as well. Dodgers bullpen has been falling. They were top 5 for a while. Now I'd have them rated middle of the pack. And Boston, of course, been winning for a while now, and I'd have them with a big bullpen edge here as well. So overall, edge to Boston as a dog. It was supposed to be Yamamoto, but now it's Henriquez as an opener, and then Will Klein as the primary. He's normally a 1-inning guy, but he hasn't pitched since the 26th, so I'm not sure how deep he'll go. I guess they're going to have – he's listed as a primary last I saw, so I guess they're going to have him, maybe go 3 or 4. Not exactly sure, but yeah. Suarez over 4.5 strikeouts, lean. Boston as a dog, lean. Let's see where the market's moved. So not much movement from the morning line, except towards the under. Morning line 8.5 juice to the over, and now 8.5 juice to the under. So a big flip to the under, which is kind of interesting. Just big, maybe a Dodgers team total under, although that's so scary. Because again, big bullpen edge at Boston here, and Suarez statistically should be good unless he has a sophomore slump psychological issue, and then it winds up being one of his 3 or 4 run starts, which is not good. So yeah, not really sure what to think here. Might just pass on the whole damn thing. Just a lot of difficult to quantify factors here, and yeah, I'd love to pull a trigger on Boston as a dog with that kind of a bullpen, and Suarez looking all right. Suarez looking all right, I don't know if I can do it though, but why not? Why couldn't I do it? What do you think? Thomas Maggio says Dodgers losing, Dodgers at home, Boston coming off of 4 A's games. Yeah, it's a tough one. Lean Suarez over 4.5 strikeouts, lean Boston as a dog, but I guess I'm going to pass on both of those. Also lean Suarez over 4.5 hits as well, although that's a high favorite. Now it's up to 5.5. There you go. All right, I'm just going to pass on the whole thing. Passing on the whole damn game. Last game on the card is Minnesota and Seattle. Zebby Matthews against Bryce Miller. Zebby Matthews definitely been struggling in general this year. Peripheral's not good. So, here he is, at Seattle, which maybe he'll get a break pitching in this ballpark. But in general, Matthews will have an inning here and there, an at-bat here and there with some positive signs, but overall, not good. Overall, peripheral's not good. Bryce Miller lights out at home this year, although he did get touched a bit in his last start at home against San Francisco. So, at least some of his excellence at home this year is due to variance, although, not all of it. Minnesota definitely playing well and winning recently. Now they start their West Coast trip. Seattle back home, lost 5 of 7 on their trip. They continue to be, not as good as they should be. Small bullpen edge here to Seattle. Both bullpens okay. I'd give a small pen edge to Seattle. So this is tough, and it's been a big move in Minnesota's favor. Let me see. Big move in Minnesota's favor. It was such a huge favorite line earlier. I saw like Seattle like minus 190 and all that. It's just a big line. I mean, justifiable in light of Miller's overall home stats this year and Miller and Matthews' overall results this year, but clearly it's moved in Minnesota's favor. Not sure if that's because someone's out for Seattle now. Seattle's like minus 160 or so. It's like a 30-cent move in favor of Minnesota, and the total gotten bet down. A little bit, just a little bit, but like 5 cents. But yeah. So clearly the market expecting Matthews to be okay. I can understand again, both bullpens decent, small edge to Seattle. So not bad bullpens. Miller lights out this year, except for his last start. Matthews struggling, but in general can be okay at times. So I guess I would agree with that Hunter, but I'm going to have to pull the trigger. I'm going to have to pass on this one entirely. Just again, too many unknowns here. Big market move, and that I do understand, and don't even know if I agree with it or not. So just another confusing game, but I did give a bunch of plays that Thomas Maggio took the under 8 in Seattle. Jermaine takes the over in Seattle. All right, there you go. Nasse says Red Sox smash. Statistically, they should, but I don't know. It's just a little bit tough. That's an interesting game. All right, what a fun show this was. We'll see you on Monday, baby.
Your thanks John hat on. Thanks John who?
Gotti, who else?
For what?
For having this big party.
You know anything about John Gotti?
No. If I did, I wouldn't say anyway.
It's easier to sleep in the black when you're losing your ass and feeling so. You know what to do. Tune in to Pub Sports Radio. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's a roller coaster ride, you're gonna catch a bad beat. No problem, keep your head up and just bet the spreadsheet. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. All thanks to Jeff Slaughter, these shows have our backs. POD's always rolling, especially the stats. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. We got Jimmy, Jose, Debbie and the fam, Dutch wine time, Spooner and OG Wham. So hit the like button, don't say that you can't. If you know what's best, just put your money on tape.